Welcome to this lesson where I'm going to show you how to play chord progressions on the bass. Hi, I'm Dan from onlinebasscourses.com, and if you want weekly bass lessons featuring fretboard knowledge, how to use theory on the bass, how to develop your groove and much more, then subscribe by clicking the button below. So when you're playing bass live and in the studio, you don't really often play chords, but they are really fun to play on the bass. They sound really good, and they're also good for getting ideas down and writing music, as well as knowing what to play over a chord when you're playing a bass line. So all kinds of reasons why you will want to know this. So I'm just going to quickly show you a G major scale and what a 10th is. Okay, so I'm going to play a G major scale until I hit the 10th note. So I'm going to go beyond the octave. That's the 10th note. I'm playing the root and the 10th note. It's an interval, playing them together. I get this. Now, it's technically not a chord because a chord is 3 or more notes played together at the same time. It's a double stop. But just for this lesson, I'm going to use tenths. They're quite easy to play and they illustrate the point. And you can always expand, and I'll show you that towards the end of the lesson. So there really are only 2 types of tenths you're going to learn, a major one and a minor one. And that was a major one. So playing the root with first finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, and a 10th is just where you go up 1 fret and then go to the G string. Okay, so play this with your little finger. You can use your 3rd finger, but little finger is a bit less of a stretch. Try and keep that wrist nice and straight. And with the plucking hand, I'm just using free strokes, which is just you pluck away from the body of the bass. So that's the first one. And what we're going to do is just go across the neck of the bass playing the scale with the 10th above it. Okay, so the first chord is G major. We go 2 frets across to the 5th fret, A, and this is a minor 10th, and that's the only other shape you need to learn. And that's where you put, let's use the 3rd finger. So first finger on the root, that's the A, and then 3rd finger on the same fret this time on the G string. That's how you know it's a minor. If it's on the same fret, it's a minor, like that, and if it's on 1 fret higher, it's a major. So we have G major, A minor on the 5th fret. My bass is a bit buzzy, sorry about that. See how that's exactly the same as the previous one? So that's minor, it's on the same fret. B minor. And then on the 8th fret, C, you might be able to see my finger. I'm on 2 different frets, that's major. 4th chord. And then D major. That's the 10th fret. And we've got E minor, 12th fret. And then we've got F sharp on the 14th fret with another minor. And those are your 7 chord shapes, your seven chords that go through the key G major. This works in any key, I'm just doing it in G. So all the way through we'll have this. So it's playing a scale but using another note, and that's the basis of harmony. Okay. So now I'm just going to take you through a few common chord progressions. One thing that I want you to explore as you're doing this is rhythms. I think it's a good idea whenever you're learning something new to always make music with it. Make it sound good and you're going to want to play it. That's a good practice tip, isn't it? You know, because if you play something that's a bit too monotonous and boring, you tend not to want to play it. Okay, so right now I'll start to introduce some rhythms which I can show you. So we'll start off with, let's go from G to C. Now, actually, one thing I forgot to say, which I'll say now, is that musicians number these chords. It's very easy. It's just the number within the notes of the scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you have this kind of language where you say 2, 5, 1. You might have heard that. That's a common chord progression, 2, 5, 1. Let's do that, actually. So in this key, it would be A minor, D major to G. So that's the 5th fret with that minor shape, going to the 10th fret with the major shape, and then to the 3rd fret with the major shape again. You'll notice here that the 2 is minor, so these are written in Roman numerals. That's the convention. And for minor, you have lowercase, and for major, you have uppercase. That's how it works, okay? So other common chord progressions, what about a 1, 4, 5? Let's reverse that. 1, 5, 4. I'm just adding a backbeat in there, a little drum beat there, because it sounds more fun to me. So I'm just going on the 2 and the 4. I'm going 1 and then 2, 3, 4, just to add some rhythm. But have a drum beat going, or a metronome, or play this with a drumming friend, you know, anything like that that you can do to make it more musical. Let's do some other ones. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to avoid the 3 a bit because my bass is a bit buzzing here. I need to get that set up a bit, but actually I really like the 3 to the 4, so you're going to have to put up with that buzz, sorry. So this is going to be, let's do 3 to the 4. Now, as you can see, I'm making this up as we go along, but I think that's the point, really, is that you can be creative with this and you can come up with little songs, can't you? So I'm going to go 3, 4. I heard that 6 would be good, so I went to 6 there. That's what I want you to do with this. I want you to take these chords. You do not have to start at 1. You don't have to use all chords. You can use, songs have 2 chords. They have 3 chords, you know, different numbers of chords and different numbers of sections as the structure of a song. So why don't you just try this? Take, I don't know, 2 or 3 chords that you like the sound of. A chord progression is when you play a chord followed by another chord. So you can do anything. Anything that you like the sound of, write it down. That could be your section. And if you want to write a song, then it doesn't have to have more than 1 section, but traditionally it does. So you can get that by using another chord progression. Now, as we go through this video, if there are any other associated videos that I've got that you need to watch, I'll put a link up. And one of them might be relative minors. Every major scale has a relative minor, and in this case of G major, it is E minor. Okay, it's the 6th chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you focus on that chord, everything starts to sound less happy and bright as it does when we're playing major chords, and a little bit darker. So I'm going to stay in that key, and I'm just going to go E minor, D, and C, kind of 6, 5, 4. Now let's reverse that. Let's go 4, 5, 6. See, at the end I was hearing that it would be nice to go to 1, so I just did that, okay? Like I say, anything that you like the sound of that you're experimenting with, write it down either on a bit of paper or on your computer. Have everything to hand and organized so that you can start to write songs with this. 1, 4, 5 is common. 1, 5, 6, 4, that's another really common one. So the 7 chord is not really used very often, so let's kind of ignore that for now. Other than that, if you have any chord that's major, a major pentatonic scale will work over that. And any chord that's minor, a minor pentatonic scale will work over that. So I'll just show you something now. So that was our 4, 5, 6 again. And when I got to the 6, which is E minor, I was just doing just an E minor pentatonic scale. And that will start to sound a lot more like music, and it's quite fun to do on bass anyway. So I'll just do something that doesn't sound very musical. I'll just do the 4, 5, 6 again, and over the 2 major chords, which is the 4 and the 5, I'll just do a major pentatonic, just to show you that it fits. So that's what you can do with tenths. Now, there are different chords that you can play and different ways you can voice chords. I've done a video on that, which I'll link to. And I want to keep this video fairly short, so I'm gonna stop here now, but probably do another video where I'll show you what you can do with 7th chords or 9ths. But just a little bit of advice for you. A chord is 3 or more notes played together at the same time. I played the first note and the 10th one to get a 10th. Just make sure you know a major scale really, really well, and then just put in another note with your 10th and see what it sounds like, and you'll start to get your own kind of chord shapes. But I'm not going to go through every single chord progression that there possibly is. I want you to experiment. You don't have to start on that first one. You don't have to go 1, 2, 3. You can go 2, 4, 5, 6. You can do anything. You can play 4 chords together, 5 chords together if you get the rhythm right. There is really no kind of ceiling to this. It's your own creativity. So make sure you do experiment with this. If there's anything you like the sound of, write it down. This is one key, remember, and there are 12 in music. You can go do the same thing by shifting to another key. But if this is your first time doing it, just stick to this for now. See what you can make as you go along. You might start to hear famous songs in your head. You might start to go, oh, that chord progression sounds a bit like that song. That's how you start to strengthen your ear. And sure enough, if you listen to lots and lots and lots of songs, you'll realise that there's not that much going on. There's very similar chord progressions happening all the time. Let me know if you have any questions about that, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.